Chapter 2. Life happened quickly for me. I was born at the speed of a bowel movement. I walked at 7 months, and I spoke complete sentences at 10 months. So it was inevitable that at age 13, I would be lying on my back with my panties at my ankles, anticipating getting my cherry popped. At 5'6", 105 pounds, I was tall and thin. People would tell me that I had the height and facial features to be a model, but I didn't see it that way. What I saw when I looked in the mirror were my flaws. A light-skinned, flat-chest chick with pimples, thick eyebrows, and a flat ass. There was nothing special about me, so I thought. I suffered from low self-esteem, so I felt the need to do things for acceptance. People mistook me for being older. I learned early to use this to my advantage. In this life, you have givers and you have takers. At age 13, I was a giver. I had the need to please. But through hurt and pain, I learned to be a taker. Unbeknownst to me, this would be my introduction to depression and multiple personality disorder, just to name a few. I came from a large family. Both my parents were entrepreneurs. My father owned and operated a construction company, and my mother was a real estate agent. My father built the houses, and my mother sold them. My father had children from other unions. His polo life had been around. We all grew up together as one big happy family. My parents were strict. They raised us with good manners. We answered with yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. We were very polite, and everyone was impressed with how well behaved we were. Both from the South, my parents were raised in God-fearing homes, so of course we went to church. By the time I was 13, my father stopped attending church. My father loved God, but the Holy Ghost hoes loved my father. I witnessed several women in the church approaching my father when my mother was not around. The things they would do to get his attention were just shameful. One woman gave my father her big-ass panties. I wished I could stop going to church, but my mother would never let that happen. I hated that I had to be polite to those fake-ass church people. I went to school with some of their children, and the stories they told about their parents were mind-blowing. These so-called Christians smoked weed and had sex with each other. They jumped and shouted on Sunday and committed sin Monday through Saturday. I guess this is why they were up early Sunday morning seated on the front row. They needed God to forgive them for their sinful nature. You know, they say God is a God of second chances. Well, not all people in the church were full of shit. Take my mother, for instance. She had a direct line to God. My father always said, if you want a prayer to get through, have your mother pray. My mother was a saved, Holy Ghost-filled, beautiful brown-skinned woman with an infectious smile, a nice shape, big, beautiful legs, and a heart of gold. She grew up in church. Her faith and trust in God was immeasurable. She was so amazing. My father was very smart and articulate. He was what blacks called mixed, German and black. Growing up, he had a hard time. He wasn't white enough for the whites, and he wasn't black enough for the blacks. My father was a large supporter of the Black Panther Party. Hey, power to the people. We moved to Corona, California in 1970. I was 8 years old. We had the only custom-built house on the block. My parents did okay to have 6 children. Matthew was the oldest, Miles was next, and then me, Stormy. Anastasia was the 4th child, Valencia was the 5th, and Derek was the 6th. They had many mouths to feed, but we never wanted for anything. The neighborhood was comprised of middle-class families, mostly young couples raising at least 2 or more children. Everyone was friendly and watched each other's children. If we got out of hand, they had no problem chastising you. I had the biggest crush on James, who lived around the corner. He lived with his mother and sister. He was the only son. He was 4 years older than I was, and we had known each other since I was in elementary school. James was of average height, light complexion, a slim brother, who knew how to dress, and for some reason always had money. When he would drive down the street in his car, he would stop and talk to me. I got goosebumps every time I saw him. One day I was sitting on my front porch, and he and a couple other boys from the neighborhood were walking down the street. He stopped and asked me how I was doing. I told him I was doing well. He stood at the bottom of the steps. When my father renovated the house, we had to walk up several steps before we made it to the front door. James asked me to come to the bottom of the steps. When I got up to walk to the end of the steps, James stared at me. The closer I got to him, the more my walk changed. My body had a mind of its own. I walked seductively, swinging my hips that were covered with some very short shorts. James was staring me up and down. Stormy, you're not the same little girl I remember from elementary school. You all grown up. I love your thick wavy hair, and you have beautiful legs. I smiled so hard, I was sure he saw all 32 of my teeth. I could have listened to him compliment me all day long. It felt good. When James got ready to leave, he asked, "Can I have your number?" I didn't know what to say. I wasn't allowed to receive calls from boys. My father ran his construction business from the house, so my parents had installed 2 lines, one for business and the other for personal use. My brothers could talk on the phone to girls, but even though I could not receive calls, I gave him the number anyway. The fact that I was out of school for the summer and my parents left for work early in the morning allowed me to talk to him while they were gone. James called me at 12 o'clock noon every day, giving me enough time to get my housework done and to make sure my younger sisters and brothers had done their work as well. We would talk for at least an hour. Every time we talked, James would give me a compliment. He made me feel special. He always told me what he liked about me. I had bad acne, so I never thought I was pretty. I used Noxzema on my face every day. I was built straight up and down, nothing special. But he always found something he liked about me, especially my legs. Very strong, shapely legs, just like my mother's. One day while talking on the phone with James, he told me, "Girl, you have nice tits, just enough." Just enough for what? "Stormy, you have a model's body. You're tall with nice long legs. You may want to consider modeling for a career. I think you have what it takes to be a model." "Not with this acne." "Girl, your face will clear up. You're pretty and mature for your age. You don't look like you're 13. You look much older. We have a lot in common. I enjoy talking to you on the phone. Do you think you're ready for a boyfriend?" "Yes, I'm ready, but I don't think my parents are. They have told me no dating until I'm 15. "You'll be 14 in a couple of months. I can't wait. A year for you to turn 15? I want you as my girlfriend now. We can be together without your parents knowing. What you think?" "I don't know. I think my parents find out I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. But I'm willing to take the chance. How are we going to make it work?" "We'll find a way to make it work." "Well, okay, I guess. We have to make it official." "Huh? What are we going to do? Have a ceremony?" I laughed. "James, are you going to get me a promise ring?" There was a long silence on the phone. "James, are you still there?" "Yes, Stormy, I'm still here. I was just thinking about the ring. I have to save my money. I should be able to purchase it in about 2 months. But in the meantime, we need to come together as one." "What are you talking about, James?" "I was joking about the ring. What do you mean by come together as one?" Without hesitation, he replied, "We need to get out." "Do what?" "Girl, you know what I'm talking about, the nasty. Have you done it before?" "No, I have not." "That's good because it should be with somebody special. I'll make it special for you. We'll become soulmates." "I'm not sure I'm ready for that. Maybe we should slow down." "Look, Stormy, trust me. It'll be okay. Just relax and let me lead the way. I promise you, you will enjoy the ride. I'm going to teach you all about your body." "What are you talking about, James? How are you going to teach me about me?" "I'm going to train you to respond to your own touch. Before I can touch you, you have to touch yourself. You need to know how to make your pussy sing." "I don't know if I'm ready for that." "Why would I touch myself down there?" "Stormy, are you telling me you've never touched your pussy?" "James, I prefer that you refer to my private parts as a jewel box. The word pussy sounds so nasty. And no, I have never played with myself." "Girl, you can call it what you want, but until you learn self-satisfaction, you're going to be lost." "Okay, tell me what I need to do. Call me when everyone has gone to sleep, and I will tell you what to do." "Okay." I called him in the middle of the night when everyone in the house was asleep. He answered the phone, and the first thing that came out of his mouth was, "Take your panties off." Oh, my heart started to beat so fast. One, because I was excited, and two, because I shared a room with my two sisters, and the fear of them waking up was making me crazy. I followed his instructions. Suck on your index finger and get it good and wet. Then spread your legs and take your wet finger and stroke the inner part of your jewel box, and take your other hand and rub your nipples. Well, the first time was just too awkward. It didn't work for me. I could not get the rhythm. James insisted that I call him every night in practice until I got what he called a nut.